This is the tuning video for Someday by Nickelback. The tuning is in drop D, but everything is also down a whole step from standard tuning. So the high E string will be tuned to a D, the B string will be tuned to an A, the G to an F, the D to a C, the A to a G, and the low E string will be tuned down to a C. Here's the E, the high E. The B string. The G. The D. The A string. And the low E string. And that's the tuning for Someday by Nickelback. This is the tuning video for Someday by Nickelback. The guitar is tuned in drop D tuning. It's also down a whole step from standard tuning. So here are each of the strings. First, the E string. The B. G. D. A. And E. And that's the tuning for Someday. This is the tone video for Someday. This song basically has 3 different electric guitar sounds. The most apparent is on the chorus, and that's just the high gain bridge pickup rhythm guitar sound. So you'll notice that on my high gain channel, my overdrive channel, I've got the gain almost all the way up. The treble is boosted and the mids to give it some good attack. The presence is also up. And so that gives me this really strong chord sound. And so that would be played through a large stack amp with high gain. The next most similar sound would be on the solo. This would also have a high level of distortion or overdrive dialed in. It has a little bit of a sweeter tone, so this would be played with the neck pickup on your guitar. And the gain would still be high. There may be a little bit more reverb or possibly some delay on the recording, so that would be used on the solo section. And that just provides for a sweeter tone, particularly when the upper octave notes are played. The last sound is the clean sound, which is used on the verse and the chorus. There's a few guitar fills that are used for this. This section would also be played on the neck pickup. On my clean channel, the master volume is almost up in order to have the volume levels almost the same. My EQ settings are just about in the middle. And the gain is turned way down so that we don't get any breakup in the sound. So this would be used on the fills in the verse and the chorus. And here's the chorus part. And that's the tone video for Someday. This is Someday by Nickelback. This song is in the key of D, but as the guitar is tuned down a whole step and in drop D, we'll be using chords that are typically associated with the key of E. So make sure to watch the tuning video to find the exact pitches for each string. We'll start with the intro and verse. I'll play it at speed and then show the different chords that are used in this section. There are 6 different chord fingerings that are used in this section. The first is a C sharp minor bar chord. So I'm barring with my first finger across 5 strings at the 4th fret. The third finger is on the 4th string, 6th fret. The 4th finger is on the 3rd string, 6th fret. And the second finger is on the 2nd string, 5th fret. And in a lot of these chords, they're not necessarily playing all the strings, so some of them it may be just the middle 4 or the bottom 5 strings. The second chord is an A sus2. This is played with the open 5th string, the 2nd finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret, the 3rd finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and then the open 2nd string and open 1st string. The third chord is a B sus2. And that's taking this fingering up 2 frets. You can do it with these 2 fingers, the 3rd finger and the 4th finger. So those would be on the 4th string, 4th fret, that's the 3rd finger, and then the 3rd string, 4th fret, that's the 4th finger, and then barring with the 1st finger across 5 strings on the 2nd fret. The 4th chord is an E power chord, which is written E5. This is played by having the 1st finger barred across 3 strings on the 2nd fret, the 6th string, the 5th string, and the 4th string, and the 3rd finger, or the 4th finger, on the 3rd string, 4th fret, and then the 2nd and 1st string can be played open. So those are played 2 per measure, and that's repeated 4 times, and the last 2 chords before the chorus are an F sharp power chord, which is played by barring the 3 strings at the bottom on the 4th fret with my 1st finger, then having the 3rd finger on the 6th fret, 3rd string, and the 4th finger on the 7th fret, 2nd string. And then the last chord is a B power chord, which is played at the 9th fret. It's the same fingering. I'll slide it to the 9th, and that section is just played and then on into the chorus. And that's the acoustic verse and intro for Someday. This is Someday by Nickelback. This song is in the key of D, although the guitar is in drop D, also tuned down a whole step on each string. So we'll play chords that are typical to the key of E. Starting with the verse part of the song, there's just a small lead fill that happens on the electric guitar, and it's just a repetitive fill that starts with the 3rd finger on the 3rd string, 6th fret, middle finger on the 2nd string, 5th fret, and then the 1st finger will be on the 4th fret, 2nd string. So you just take the 2nd finger off, and that'll just repeat. And then the 1st finger will go to the 3rd string, 4th fret. The 2nd finger will go to the 2nd string, 5th fret. 1st string back on the 2nd string, 4th fret. Back to the 3rd string, 4th fret. This comes in on the 3rd and 4th repetition of the verse chords, and the timing is just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And and that's the electric guitar verse for Someday. This is the acoustic chorus and instrumental section for Someday. I'll play it at speed and then slow it down and explain the chords. The chord progression for the chorus and the instrumental section of this song are the same. The first chord that's used is an A sus2 with an open 5th string, the second finger on the 4th string 2nd fret, third finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret, and then the open 2nd and 1st string. The next chord is an E power chord, played with the first finger barred over 3 strings, 4, 5, and 6 at the 2nd fret, and then the 3rd or 4th finger on the 3rd string, 4th fret. And that can also have the 2nd and 1st string ringing open. The third chord is a B sus2, barred with the first finger across 5 strings at the 2nd fret, the 3rd finger on the 4th string, 4th fret, and the 4th finger on the 3rd string, 4th fret. Next chord is an F sharp power chord that bars 3 strings on the 4th, 5th, and 6th strings at the 4th fret, the 3rd finger on the 3rd string, 6th fret, and the 4th finger on the 2nd string, 7th fret. The second part of the chorus also has the A sus2 chord, then to the B sus2 chord, and then it goes to a C sharp minor bar chord. So I'm barring 5 strings at the 4th fret with my first finger. Then my 3rd finger is on the 4th string 6th fret, the 4th finger is on the 3rd string 6th fret, and the 2nd finger is on the 2nd string 5th fret. And then it'll go back to a B sus2 chord again. That's repeated twice, except for the second time, instead of going from the C sharp minor back to the B sus2, the chorus will just end with the C sharp minor chord ringing out. I should also mention that to get a lot of the muting effect sounded, you take your left hand and lay it flat across the strings to get that scratch sound between chords. The last time through on the chorus, at the outro of the song, there's a tag that's played, and that goes from the A sus2 chord to the B sus2 chord to C sharp minor, back to B sus2, and then it'll go A sus2 again, B sus2, C sharp minor, B sus2, and then on the very end of the song, A sus2, B sus2, and then ending with a ringing F sharp power chord. And that is the chorus and instrumental section for Someday. This is the electric guitar part for the chorus of Someday by Nickelback. I'll play it at tempo and then demonstrate the power chords that are used for this section. The first chord is just an A power chord. I'm using my 2nd finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and then picking the 5th string, 4th string, and 3rd string. The next chord is an E power chord. I'm just using my first finger to bar 3 strings on the 2nd fret, the 6th string, 5th string, and 4th string. Because of the drop D tuning, you only need to use 1 finger on that. For the B power chord, typical power chord shape, first finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the 4th string, 4th fret, and 4th finger on the 3rd string, 4th fret. Then it goes to an F sharp power chord. This is the same fingering as the E power chord, but up on the 4th fret. 6th string, 5th string, and 4th string. Then back to an A power chord, a B power chord, a C sharp power chord, which is the same power chord shape, on the 4th fret. Then back to a B power chord. And then that'll occur twice, except on the second time, the chorus ends with a C sharp power chord ringing out. The transition from the verse to the chorus is an F sharp power chord, that same fingering barred on the 4th fret of the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings, to a B power chord. There are also some electric guitar fills during the chorus that are in the background, so I'll demonstrate how to play those. The first one, which repeats several times, begins with the first finger on the 9th fret, 4th string, and then there's a hammer-on to the 11th fret of the 4th string. Then the first finger goes to the 3rd string, 9th fret. Then the 4th finger goes to the 12th fret of the 2nd string, and then switches to the 9th fret using the first finger of the 2nd string. That happens several times. Then there's another fill in the chorus also, where the first finger is on the 7th fret and hammers on to the 9th fret on the 1st string with the 3rd finger. And then the 2nd finger hits the 3rd string, 9th fret, then the 2nd string, 9th fret, and then the 1st finger lands on the 2nd string, 7th fret. Then back to the first fill again. And then a little walk down, starting on the 9th fret of the 1st string, down to the 9th fret of the 2nd string. Then 3rd finger goes to the 11th fret of the 3rd string, to the 1st finger on the 9th fret of the 3rd string. And then the 3rd finger goes to the 4th string, 13th fret, then to the 1st finger on the 11th fret of the 4th string. And that's the electric guitar part for the chorus of Someday. This is the electric guitar part for the instrumental section of Someday. The chords in this section are the same as in the chorus. I'll play the lead part at speed and then slow it down. There's also a second guitar that comes in playing up in the interval of an octave from the original part. That comes in about a third of the way through the instrumental section. I'll play that part and then demonstrate both parts by themselves. The first guitar starts with the middle finger on the 9th fret of the 5th string, and then the 4th finger on the 11th fret of the 4th string, then the 1st finger on the 8th fret of the 3rd string. There's then a half-step bend, which can be done by either pushing or pulling the string. Then the middle finger goes to the 9th fret of the 4th string. The 4th finger ends that phrase on the 11th fret of the 4th string. Then the 4th finger will roll to the 11th fret of the 5th string. The 2nd finger goes back to the 9th fret of the 5th string. 4th back to the 11th fret of the 5th string. The same bend on the 8th fret of the 3rd string. Then the middle finger on the 9th fret of the 4th string. and the fourth finger on the 11th fret of the fourth string. The third measure starts with the first finger on the 7th fret of the 5th string. The third finger goes to the 9th fret of the 4th string. Then there's a slide to the 11th fret of the 4th string. The first finger then ends up at the 9th fret of the 5th string. The third finger goes to the 11th fret of the 4th string and immediately slides to the 13th fret of the 4th string. Then the first finger goes back to the 11th fret of the 4th string. Then the fourth finger jumps back to the 11th fret of the 4th string. First finger goes to the 8th fret of the 3rd string. Middle finger goes to the 9th fret of the 3rd string, then rolls to the 4th string on the 9th fret. First finger back on the 8th fret 3rd string, then middle finger back on the 9th fret. Second measure, the fourth finger begins on the 11th fret 4th string once again. First finger 8th fret 3rd string, second finger 9th fret 3rd string, then to the 4th string 9th fret. Then the fourth finger goes to the 11th fret 3rd string, first finger 8th fret 3rd string, second finger 9th fret. In the third measure of that section, the fourth finger is once again on the 11th fret 4th string, first finger also on the 8th fret of the 3rd string. The second finger goes to the 9th fret of the 3rd string, and then there's a rolling technique that's used here because the middle finger has to go to the 9th fret of the 4th string, then back to the 9th fret of the 2nd string, then back to the 9th fret of the 3rd string. You don't want these notes to interact when there's overdrive on it because it'll make a really clashing sound. So you want to roll back and forth between those strings. And then that ends with the fourth finger on the 3rd string 11th fret. The last measure is the fourth finger on the 11th fret 4th string once again, first finger on the 8th fret 3rd string, slide up to the 9th fret 3rd string, down to the 9th fret on the 4th string, and then the third finger on the 11th fret 3rd string, slide up to the 13th fret 3rd string, and then end on the 11th fret 4th string. I'll play the first lead part at half speed. The background lead part that's up an octave starts with the fourth finger on the 14th fret of the 2nd string. First finger goes to the 11th fret of the 1st string. Second finger, 12th fret of the 1st string. Down a string to the 2nd string on the 12th fret. Then the fourth finger to the 14th fret 1st string. Then the first finger back to the 11th on the 1st string. Then the second finger back to the 12th. Then in the next measure, the fourth finger back on 14 again on the 2nd string, back to the 11th fret 1st string with the first finger, second finger 12th fret 1st string, then use the first finger on the 12th fret 2nd string, stretch the fourth finger over to the 16th fret 1st string, first finger 12th fret 1st string, and then third finger on the 14th fret 1st string. And then some long notes with the fourth finger on 14 on the 2nd string, then the first finger on 11 1st string, then the second finger 12th fret, 1st string, then the 1st finger, 12th fret, 2nd string, 3rd finger, 14th fret, 1st string, slide to the 16th fret, and then end with the 1st finger on the 14th fret, 2nd string. So I'll play that second guitar part at half speed. And that's the instrumental section for Someday. This is the electric guitar part for the outro of Someday. The last chorus is identical to the previous chorus sections, except for the last line, which ends on a different chord. There's a tag that will begin with the A power chord, to the B power chord, to C sharp, back to B, the same thing one more time, and then the very last time we'll go A power chord to the B power chord, ending with a ringing F sharp power chord. There's also a lead fill in the background, which is just a repetitive melody with a little delay on it. That starts with the 1st finger on the 9th fret, 4th string, with a hammer-on to the 11th fret, 4th string with the 3rd finger. 1st finger goes to the 9th fret, 3rd string, then rolls to the 9th fret, 1st string, and then ends on the 9th fret, 2nd string. And that is the outro section for Someday. This is the acoustic performance of Someday by Nickelback.
How the hell did we wind up like this? Why weren't we able to see the signs that we missed and try to turn the tables? I wish you'd unclench your fists and unpack your suitcase. Lately there's been too much of this. Don't think it's too late. Nothing's wrong, just as long as you know that someday I will. Someday, somehow, we're gonna make it alright, but not right now. I know you're wandering away. You're the only one who knows.
This is the electric guitar performance of Someday by Nickelback.
How the hell did we wind up like this? Why weren't we able to see the signs that we missed and try to turn the tables? I wish you'd unclench your fists and unpack your suitcase. Lately there's been too much of this. Don't think it's too late. Nothing's wrong, just as long as you know that someday I will. Someday, somehow, we're gonna make it alright, but not right now. I know you're wondering away. Only one who knows that. Someday, somehow, gonna make it alright, but not right now. I know you're wondering away. Well, I hope that since we're here anyway, we could end up saying things we always needed to say. So we could end up stringing now the story's played out like this. Just like a paperback novel that's rewriting and in the fifth. Instead of Hollywood horror, nothing's wrong, just as long as you know that someday I will. Someday, somehow, we're gonna make it alright, but not right now. I know you're wondering away. Only one who knows that. Someday, somehow, gonna make it alright, but not right now. I know you're wondering away. How the hell did we wind up like this? Why weren't we able to see the signs that we missed and try to turn